Everyone wants to be consistent with their habits, whether it's going to the gym, waking up early, or being healthy. But most people fail at being consistent when life gets tough. They give up on their goals and go back to their bad habits. If you want to build consistency like an anime protagonist, then this video is for you. You'll go from failing at your goals to becoming someone who can move forward no matter the struggle. Using Ippo's 5-step training system for how he went from being a bullied loser to becoming Japan's #1 boxer, this video will have everything you need to become consistent.
The first step is you have to break free from your old identity. The more that you hold on to the idea of who you are right now, the more likely you are to never change yourself.
Have you ever promised yourself that you would give up a bad habit? That today was the last day you were ever going to be lazy and that you were ready to lock in? This has been me more times than I can count. I'd promised that I'd give up smoking only to keep on falling back to it when life got tough. The reason why I and so many people don't change even when we want to is because our identity won't let us change, and we think we need to wait for motivation to come in order for us to become consistent at our goals and our dreams. So when you finally say to yourself that you want to be consistent at a new habit that goes against your current identity, you're telling yourself that you want to start acting like a completely different person. And oftentimes, our old self doesn't want to act this way. Ippo was just this weak loser who was constantly getting bullied. He held on to this identity that this was just who he was. It wasn't until he grew so tired of being weak that he began to ask himself how he could change everything about himself. The words he used were, "I want to be strong. I want to be a new person."
You can't change yourself while still being and doing everything the exact same. You have to remove everything that's holding you back, whether it's people, situations, environments. You have to get rid of as much as you can that is holding you back to this old identity and start taking actions to be that new version of yourself.
Real consistency towards a goal only comes when the pain of staying the same is heavier than the pain of changing. Ippo was tired of being weak, and he changed his identity when he felt that pain of staying that same person. He didn't wait for motivation or when he felt ready. He started to change the moment he couldn't stand being a weak, bullied kid anymore.
To become consistent at your goals and really change yourself, you have to look at yourself entirely. Which parts of yourself are so painful and so cringe that you want to change no matter what? Write it down and then write down the entire new version of yourself right next to it. Who would you be if you could be the exact opposite of everything about yourself that you felt wasn't good enough? Now you have two versions of yourself. You have the old version of you that has been holding you back this whole time and you're just exhausted of living like him. And you have this new version of you that is painful and scary, but you want to become him no matter what. Then write down all of the actions, the habits, the situations, the environments that you would need to be in so that you could become that version of yourself. Having your old identity and having your new identity in sight is what gives you your purpose for becoming consistent at the goals you set out for yourself. But even if you do have a deep sense of purpose, you'll never change if you don't actually achieve your goals. For Ippo to go from this weak, bullied kid to becoming a pro boxer, he had to build himself up little by little. He had to learn how to jab, he had to learn how to guard, he had to build up muscle, he had to fix his diet. He changed everything about himself, but he didn't do it all in one day. It was a slow buildup, and it's going to be the exact same for you and your goals. Just like mini quests in a video game that lead to the final boss, step 2 of Ippo's training system is building up small goals that lead up to your big one. If your main goal is to go to the gym 5 days a week, break that down so it's more manageable for you to become consistent at it. Start by going just 1 day a week, maybe even for just 30 minutes, but then you go for 2 days the next week and you slowly build it up to a point where it's difficult at first, but it's not so hard that you give up when you're feeling tired and you want to take a day off. You have that set mini goal so that it's easier for you to achieve than just the main goal that is 5 days right away. And even within that one mini goal of going to the gym consistently for 5 days a week, you could break that down into so many other goals. Whether it's learning new gym workouts, increasing the weight, going at a certain time if you want to start waking up early, those are how you make mini goals out of just one main goal, and it makes things so much easier for you to achieve, and then also gives you the exact routine and the habits that you want to build up so that you can achieve that main goal.
Having small goals keeps things simple and trackable as you start, so you know exactly how much progress you're making and how you can easily see what consistency looks like. Ippo's goal of becoming a professional boxer was way too big to accomplish in a week, and if he focused on it, he would have gotten overwhelmed. Instead, every time he trained, he focused on getting 1% better. This is how Ippo measured his progress, but it was also how he made himself become consistent.
But just because you've been progressing towards your goals doesn't mean that you won't come across challenges that will get in the way of you becoming consistent. You'll come across days when you just want to put your goals off for one day and rest a little bit. I've come across this feeling so many times when I've been working towards my goal. My goal of quitting smoking has been something that's been huge for me for a long time. But ironically, every time I gave up smoking for a long time, like a month, 2, even a year, I would reward myself by smoking again, and then I would lose all of the progress I've made and have the exact same mindset that I told myself I wanted to get rid of. I went straight back to square one, and that's why, to avoid slipping back into your old identity, you'll need step 3 of Ippo's training system, which is to hold yourself accountable with an anchor. Your anchor will be people and places that will hold you accountable to this new identity you've set out for yourself so that you don't go back to who you once were.
Ippo doubted himself a lot, especially at the start, if he could become a boxer. What kept him accountable was that he had people he could rely on, and he built up a routine of going to the boxing gym at the same time every day. This made it easy for him to follow the path to being consistent and avoid giving up whenever he felt tired or uncertain about himself. If you have friends to keep you accountable, they can be the source of drive that keeps you going on days you feel like quitting, or even posting your goals online on social media. It doesn't matter how many followers you have or if people even care. Having that external pressure, even if it's just one person, can be the difference between you being accountable and giving up.
But to become truly consistent, you'll have to be aware of the things that are going to get in your way and how to beat them. And that's why step 4 is to become aware of the enemy.
When anime protagonists get confronted with a new challenge or enemy, that's when their consistency gets put to the test. How much they're willing to push themselves and stay true towards their goals when the enemy wants to crush them, that's what it means to be consistent. Your enemy, when it comes to consistency, will most likely not be another person. Although, if you do have one, this will keep you accountable and help you become consistent. Most likely, your enemy will be yourself, that old version of you that wants to be complacent. It's easy to fall back into comfort after you've made a bit of progress and start getting tired. This is the part where everyone fails. Everyone has a reason to be consistent, an old identity they want to overcome. But without knowing who the enemy is, they quickly lose motivation, and that's where consistency falls off. If you're not careful, you'll eventually let your enemy beat you and take you back to being that old version of yourself you promised to change from. So, when you find yourself getting comfortable, you have to imagine that version of yourself who wants to overcome that enemy. When I first started running, I wanted to give up after every step. I ran alone and I had no one to motivate me or keep me accountable. What kept me consistent was whenever I felt like giving up, I would imagine a stronger version of me running past me. I'd imagine what it would feel like to see him running while I was giving up. This is what helped me go further every time I felt like giving up on running. You have to compete against that weakness that makes you want to give up, that version of yourself that wants you to go back on your dreams. Every anime character grows stronger when they have an enemy, and when you see your weakness and complacency as the enemy, you'll have the drive you need to move forward.
But no matter how motivated you are, how many enemies you beat, how much progress you've made, you will always come across the wall. And that's why step 5 is to learn how to break through your wall. Your wall is your personal limit. It's where you feel spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally drained of achieving your goals and you want to give up. Only you know where your wall is, and only you will know when you come across it. It's different for everyone. And if you truly want to become consistent and change yourself, this is where you have to break through and don't give up no matter what.
It's that point every anime protagonist reaches when they've given their all to fighting someone stronger than them, where they feel that they have nothing left to give. But every time they've reached that wall, that's when they're faced with the ultimate test to see if they can overcome it or if they give up. The wall is something I've faced multiple times in my marathons. After running for a few hours, I would feel that I can't run for another step and want to give up. But what gets me to overcome the wall is that I remember why I'm doing this in the first place. I started running because I wanted to change myself from a chubby stoner kid to being someone who could do hard things and make himself proud.
When you come across a wall, this is your moment to figure out how badly you actually want to be consistent at this goal. Because when you are out of motivation, even discipline, willpower, all of those things don't matter when you come across your personal limit. That's why you need a really strong reason to break through this wall. But just know that if you're able to do it, you're gonna build yourself up so much stronger, and you're gonna have so much more energy to build yourself up to becoming the version of yourself that is going to achieve their goals, be consistent at them no matter what, and change yourself from that old identity of you and become unrecognizable. Just like how Ippo had training arcs to become a boxer, this will be your training arc to build consistency and become who you want to be. To battle your old identity and the impulses that have been holding you back, whether it's watching corn, doom scrolling, binge eating, anything that's been holding you back, I've created the Impulse Mastery Blueprint to help you on your journey to becoming consistent. It's based off of all of the lessons that I've learned over the past 5 years and have built myself up to becoming consistent towards my goals. If you're interested, check the link down below, and if it doesn't help you within 30 days, I'll give you your money back, no problem.
When anime protagonists break through their limits and reach a new level, that's when their consistency truly pays off. Those moments define them as that new person. They prove to themselves that they aren't the weaker version of themselves that started their journey, that all of their hard work paid off. But even after all of their success and every single goal that they achieved, they don't get complacent. They begin the cycle of training all over again to grow even stronger and find a new purpose to build themselves towards.
The secret to building consistency like an anime protagonist is being prepared to go through this cycle more than once. You're going to come across your old identity over and over again. You're going to have to set mini goals that you achieve and constantly build them up. You're going to face stronger enemies the stronger that you become. And no matter how far you've gone, the wall will always be in front of you, waiting until you're truly exhausted to test you and see how badly you want to be consistent. But if you have a truly strong reason for why you want to change and become consistent like your favorite anime characters did, then you will have all that you need to become consistent like an anime protagonist.